Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Hello and welcome to Claret and Blue, the Aston Villa podcast from Birmingham Live. We've got the dream team back together by popular demand. Mat Kendrick, joined by our Aston Villa writer, Ashley Preece. I bet you slept well last night, Ash, didn't you? It was, such a boring game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh God. My mum turned up this morning with chocolate concrete. She went to me at the door. She don't talk about football. She went, "Oh bloody! I got some stuff to write about from last night, and yeah." I went, "Oh yeah, just a bit." So yeah, very eventful. Even my mum's talking about it. So something must have happened. But yeah, loads to chat through, mate. And it was mainly the first half, wasn't it? What was the view from the stands like?
Well, actually, can I just what's chocolate concrete?
You know what chocolate concrete is? I'll get it out of the box. People know what chocolate concrete is, surely. The cake you have at school. No,
Turn it round the other way. I ain't seen that before, mate. Is that a great bar thing?
chocolate concrete. People will know that in the comments all day.
Oh, that's interesting. You'll have to send me some of that through the post, mate.
I mean, you used to have it at school, but yeah.
Well, I'm on me slimming world anyway, mate. So I'll only be able to have a little dollop of it. What was it like? Yeah, it was just probably the same. I only sit about 20 yards from you, 30 yards up in the press, up in the top of the Trinity.
Yeah,
it was that. It's the yearning for a kind of 90-minute performance again from Aston Villa. For me, it was when you saw Villa roaring back with those three brilliant goals. My first thought was, why do we have to give people a goal start to really start to play? But it was just it epitomised, encapsulated Aston Villa through my lifetime, I suppose, and certainly this season, in terms of just so capable of moments of brilliance from time to time, but so capable of undermining it by shooting ourselves in the foot. I don't know. I suppose we can. Don't want us to go through the team player by player, but how do you want to tackle it, Ash? Do you want to go through the good bits first or the bad bits?
Good to bad then. Obviously, for me, Ramsey and Coutinho were the ones with the mat. A bit of a great bar Rio de Janeiro link up, which is quite good. And yeah, they're really getting on. Even McGinn said afterwards in his post-match, the pair of them are really striking a real relationship with Bollymore for training. They're really linking up really well. And obviously, Gerard waxed lyrical about Ramsey last night. And I can't stop watching the little highlight reel on Twitter of Coutinho. It's just even the music and just the way he's strutting his stuff, not megging people. He's getting back on song now. Even Gerard said Coutinho's not 100% yet either, so he's still building him up, which is quite a scary prospect. And seen some fans last night saying, "You pay the 33 million quid now, get him in. What a player!" And he's crazy to have him on our books, to be fair. But in terms of the bad, I think Villa got dragged into a bit of a firefight with Leeds, a bit of a slinging match, and there's no control. Villa got dragged out of positions, and they're going up. They played like a Leeds style. I think Gerard said that afterwards to me as well. So they fell into that trap, and defensively not good enough, was it really? So Tyrone Mings for you, Matt. Gets a lot of flack, doesn't he? Last night, what you feel is him and Conte in the back four in general, really?
I've been a big defender of Mings, since he's been at the club and the journey that he's been on. I think last night he had a stinker, didn't he? It was. I've not seen. It's strange because we know he's a big, strong, strapping centre half, brave, courageous. A big vocal leader. So when he plays against a big, strong centre forward, you back him in those circumstances. But the way that Dan James was able to get between the lines last night, either between Dean and Mings or between Mings and Conte. I just thought it was even the occasions that didn't lead to goals. I just thought he was able to find too much space, and I don't think either of the centre halves covered themselves in glory last night. The equaliser or the third goal. It was just again that encapsulated Tyrone Mings for me, because in the previous 90 seconds he'd done a goal line block and clearance. He'd done a brave header to get the ball clear from in the 6-yard box, and then he goes and manages to undo it all with you know, this probably sounds a little bit harsh on my daughters. My daughters under 12s, but the kind of clearance that you know it goes 4 yards, 5 yards, and just invites your man to smack it in the back of the net. And if it had been that in isolation, you could have said that the Mings good outweighed the bad last night. But there was, you know, sloppy for the first goal. You know, for the second goal. I think the inquest needs to start on how the cross got in as well as the ones who you know, as well as Dan James being able to get a header in from under the crossbar. So I don't think that's solely on Mings, but it's not good enough. And I think this is not me saying Mings needs to go and needs to be upgraded over the summer, but the level of performance needs to be upgraded, because I think, you know, the way Villa have defended this season at a time when last season a lot of the success, if you like, was founded on a solid back four. It's good enough if you want to be mid-table, as we're finding, because Villa are mid-table. It's not good enough if you want to be anything above that. If you want to be a top six side, you want to be back in Europe, you can't get back into games like that and then give the opposition the lifelines that Villa did.
Yeah, consistency. It's quite ironic in the build-up to Leeds yesterday. Mings was asked about when he was last dropped against West Ham, and he had to reevaluate himself, go back to basics, and I think he'll have to do that again. And I wouldn't leave him out for Newcastle at the weekend. I don't know how you feel about that. It'd be a bit of an atmosphere up there. I think we'll need Mings to hopefully silence his doubters again. We keep saying it, don't we? After a few performances, that Mings needs to come back strong now. And I don't know whether Gerrard will shake things up, but I think Mings needs to come back on strong now and put in a few consistent performances. And yeah, he won't have Conte next to him, so that'll be an interesting dynamic up at St James's. Conte banned for 2 games now. Actually, seen him afterwards, and he was getting into a taxi. Conte. I wasn't sure on the rules regarding the 2 red cards, and is he 2-game ban? I went, are you banned for 2 or 1 game? He had 2 games, and he had the face like thunder as well, so he weren't happy afterwards. So I think it'd be Callum Chambers on Sunday, and I think Gerrard probably stick with Mings. So interesting.
I think just on Konzarash,
yeah,
you know, and the ref got a bit of stick from Villa Park last night, and what was his name? Something Gillette.
Jared Gillette.
Jared Gillette.
Australian he's.
Yeah, I mean, and I only got sitting high in the Trinity. I couldn't quite see what Konza had done for the second yellow. I knew he'd gone towards the goalie and kind of interfered with the goalie a little bit, but it's stupid, isn't it? When you're on a yellow, you know, he's only got himself to blame, and you know, there's lots of people who are happy to dig out Tyrone Mings, and I do think Tyrone Mings let Villa down with some of his mistakes last night, but I think Ezri Konsa let Villa down as well by that act of stupidity that got him sent off. Because rather than Villa trying to have a new lease of life and forcing that game and trying to go on and win it, ended up having to backs to the wall, 8 minutes of stoppage time defending. So I don't think either of the centre halves covered themselves in glory last night. But again, we mentioned earlier that Villa weren't able to establish a foothold of control in that game, and it became a bit of a kind of, you know, Yorkshire Leeds versus Brummie Leeds last night, in the way that the game was so open. That's right. I don't know if you can hear drilling, but I've got somebody sorting me a bathroom window out. What was I going to say? So in terms of because I don't need to go through every single player, every single department, but midfield was an issue for me as well last night. I've seen a lot of people being critical of John McGinn. I think John McGinn was quiet, but equally, I don't know, maybe I'm being too defensive of John McGinn. I thought he worked hard defensively without being able to really influence the game. I don't know what you thought of him. I thought McGinn and Douglas Luiz weren't great. I thought further forward, we'll speak about Ramsey in more detail, but I thought Ramsey, Coutinho, Buendia in patches, Watkins, bits and pieces were better. But I thought McGinn and Douglas Luiz didn't allow Villa to get the foothold really perhaps that they needed. Yeah,
both of them were anonymous for me as well. I said that in my player ratings. Didn't really see them affect the game. I mean, McGinn started quite well. He had a couple of nice lofty passes up to Matty Cash, who got forward. Matty Cash getting an assist last night was good for him. But yeah, Douglas Luiz didn't really do it for me. I think he got sucked into pressing in needless areas, and that open up the gaps for Leeds to exploit. And McGinn was doing his job defensively and wanting to affect games, but I think Ramsey and Coutinho did that in the first half, and I think they just ran out of gas in the second. And just want your take on Ramsey, Matt, from the supporter point of view. Did you see this explosion of promise happening in terms of Ramsey, and what do you make of him? You like a goal scoring midfielder, don't you? David Platt was one of your favourites, and he's certainly one of them, isn't he?
I think he's brilliant. I think I tweeted last night that we've got a kind of a one of our own size gap in our heart with what happened with Grealish leaving last summer. I didn't think that Ramsey could fill it as spectacularly as he has. I didn't, these people who have probably viewed his rise through the academy, through the youth teams more closely than I have. From the first couple of glimpses that I saw of him, I didn't know that he was capable of being this player. I think a massive amount of respect and credit is due to Dean Smith for promoting Ramsey to becoming a first team regular at the expense of Conor Hourihane. I know we've had our debate over whether Hourihane was a Premier League player, and on evidence probably not. But at the time, it was a big call for Dean Smith to send Hourihane out on loan and to have faith in Jacob Ramsey. That has given Ramsey the confidence, encouragement to believe that he does belong at this level, and then working with Steven Gerrard and working alongside players like Coutinho has just made him, like you said, explode to a completely different level. And I thought he was, it was beyond the goals last night. I mean, talk about the goals first of all. The turn and pass from Coutinho. I thought Ramsey probably taken to one touch too many, but still managed to compose himself and slot it in, even though he got a lot of thinking time. And then that second goal as well, the weight of pass from Coutinho. Lots of players would have played that either behind him, or it was just saying, it was just so inviting, just saying, right, don't break your stride. Yeah. Here you go. Here's a goal on a plate for you. And when Ramsey smashed that or guided that top corner as well, the quality of his finishing, all of his goals this season have been really, really brilliant finishes. Just wish we'd see a few more of them in wins. I think it's only the win at Norwich. I think all of his other goals have come in draws or the defeat at Arsenal, obviously. But even beyond that, he's so brave on the ball. He's a leader at the age of 20. At the age of 20, he's a leader to want to take the ball in difficult areas, to almost try and change the momentum of games by running with the ball when he needs to. He plays it simple when he needs to. He makes himself available. He gets about the pitch. He can tackle. I don't want to speak about him too much because I think was it somebody from social media was saying Rio Ferdinand was already talking him into a move away from Aston, 20 games into his Villa career, and I just think it's frightening the potential that he's got. And I do love a goal scoring midfielder. David Platt, Ian Taylor, James Milner for a little while, Conor Hourihane. I think he's got and I don't, like I say, I didn't see it at first, and that's maybe me not paying a close enough attention to the guy, but I think he's got all the ingredients to be an absolutely fantastic footballer. And if we're thinking he's 6 or 7 years away from his prime, crikey, we're going to enjoy seeing him get there, aren't we? So yeah, got nothing but admiration for the lad. He's living the dream on our behalf, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah, brilliant. And just on Coutinho as well. And I don't know, I think I probably thought it was a little bit of a play to the galleries signing, which I still think it is to a degree, but I'm very much of the old school, how can I put it, worth the entrance fee alone type thing. And some of the things that he was doing, like you say, the little, who was it you said he nutmegged near the touchline, and the opposition player just was it Aileen?
Aileen again, yeah.
You tweeted, didn't you, that you nutmegged Aileen, and Aileen just kind of had a little smirk to say, well,
he did, yeah.
I'm on the pitch, I'm sharing a pitch with brilliance. Sometimes you just have to kind of nod and bow down to that. But there's a few little things, like little drag backs and rolls, little passes around the corner, little flicks. The finish, his goal, I don't think he could have put it. I don't think he could have signposted it any better than he did, just to creep that. That was the only bit of goal, the only little bit of the goal where he could have got it in, managed to squeeze it in, with a, on the turn to do that was brilliant. And like I said, the weight of passing. I mean, that frustrates me sometimes about Villa, that sometimes the build-up can be a little bit slow and methodical just because the pass is played, a foot behind somebody rather than in the space that they need to run onto. But it was like he got the ball on a string, the way he was just playing balls so delicately and so cleverly into people's paths. So, it's just a joy to watch. And at 3-1 up, I thought we were going to go and win it kind of 4-5, 6-1, to be honest. But why I thought that, I don't know. I should have a level of cynicism that's built in me to know that Villa don't do things as easily as that.
No, you should know better, Matt, all day. Yeah, I thought Coutinho's finished. He didn't even look up as well. He didn't even look up, knew where the goal was. And Gerrard said after as well, he put it right in the corner by the post. And that's what elite level performers can do. And I just wonder now, was it 2 assists, 2 goals in these 3 games? Just daft. I just wonder, can he really kick on now? And if there's, can Villa pull off that deal in the summer? We'll have to wait and see. And
what's your understanding of that, Ash? Is it Villa have got first refusal on it? If there's a deal there to be had, Villa are front of the queue. Is that what you understand to be the case? Or?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, the fee that's been bandied around, reporting Spain, 33 million quid. What is he now? 28, 29. But look, I think Barcelona spent some money as well. So I'm probably getting ahead of ourselves at the moment and whatnot. But I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how he's. Well, according to Gerrard, he's settling in really well. He's enjoying his football again. He's smiling. He's playing. You've seen that in his plays. He really shut his stuff out there. So I'm intrigued to see how the next 15 games go and see if Villa can time down in the summer. So I have to watch his space regarding that. But more of the same, please, Philip. Unreal to watch. What was
the deal with the injury updates from Coutinho and Buendia? Did Coutinho pull a muscle or something slightly when he had that effort on goal? Or
yeah, well, curler, didn't he? But I asked Gerrard about that yesterday. He's a bit of cramp, really. Had a cramp in a few areas. He played a lot of football of lately, Coutinho, in a short window after going a long time without playing regularly. So I think 200 minutes in his legs over the last 2.5 weeks playing for Brazil. Played against Molde last week as well. So he played a lot of football lately with Villa building him up. So he should be fine for Newcastle. Coutinho, just a bit of cramp in a few areas. As for Buendia, he took a whack. He had a hip problem previously. So I'm wondering if he's got a bruised hip again. I'm not sure. But Gerrard's hoping it's just an impact injury and a whack. And hopefully a couple of days rest now. And hopefully Buendia's back for Sunday as well. So there's a couple of days to go. I think Coutinho will be there. All depends how Buendia is over the next coming days. I'll speak to Gerrard again tomorrow. Speaking to Gerrard more than the missus at the moment. But so yeah, get an update tomorrow on them pair. And yeah, Villa will be without Konsa. So I think Chambers will probably slot in there. But yeah, should be a tough one. Sunday, Newcastle. Villa need to get back to winning ways. And they've got it going up there. So confident for Sunday, Matt, or reservations?
I was going to ask you about Sunday. Obviously, there's going to be one enforced change with Konsa missing out because of the suspension, and it does look like Chambers is the obvious, right-sided defender, right-sided centre half who comes in and plays. Do you think? And we've said that the defence, there were obviously issues there. Villa conceded three cheap goals. We said the midfield that probably didn't establish control of the game the way we would have liked. So Villa could have forced their style on the game rather than Leeds forcing theirs. There's the ongoing Watkins versus Ings, which one should lead the line. Do you think Gerrard should make changes beyond the one that's forced upon him? And if so, what changes do you think they should be, in your opinion?
Yeah, he was. I think Gerrard said last night, he said they really ran hard for me tonight. I think the Villa's distances that they ran was the most they've been under Gerrard so far. They're all knackered, basically. And he needs to freshen things up for Sunday now. So I think your Morgan Santons might be in with a shout of coming in and stepping up and trying to prove a point. I think the back four probably stay the same. And probably Douglas Luiz may drop out, try and freshen things up in there. Santon play the 6 role perhaps. And yeah, interesting when day comes through. Watkins and Ings, going about this every week. It's such a hot topic. Watkins wasn't people's cup of tea last night. Others, he worked hard and made that third goal with his run. So, and yeah, I mean, last night, Gerrard wanted to throw Ings on at the end. He wanted to gamble and go for it, but he can't get sent off. He couldn't.
I think he was stripped, wasn't he? I think he got his tracksuit off, ready to go.
So I wanted to bring him on. So yeah, probably a couple of changes, but I can't see wholesale. No.
Just looking at some of the comments that are dropping. John Dunn saying, "Yeah, drop Douglas Luiz and play Sanson, Ian Slater, bring Danny Ings in over Ollie Watkins." So nice potential solutions to have. It shows that Villa do have a squad now. I know we've got a lot of the kids who are being promoted to the bench now, but it just shows that Villa do have those options. I think in terms of Sunday, I mean, probably playing Newcastle at the wrong time in the sense that they've had that morale booster over against Everton with Trippier in particular, starting to really shine for those. I mean, I've still got a theory about Newcastle. I don't know whether this is wishful thinking. I want them to go down and to play Steve Bruce's West Bromwich Albion in next year's playoff final, and to see how that goes. I've got a fascinating thought about how that could pan out. But I think Villa should still have the quality to go there and to cause Newcastle real issues, to be honest. So I think it's about ourselves and how we impose ourselves rather than worrying about too much about whether they've got a new lease of life up there. But I think it does need to be a back to basics, the really well drilled defending that Villa were able to show at Goodison to get what I thought was a classic away victory however many weeks ago. I think they need to do that first, because if they've got that solid platform, I'll probably drop a curse on it now, but I can't see many games where Villa won't score going forward now with that. I suppose you could probably almost call it an attacking quartet if Ramsey's going to be able to get forward like that. Whichever central striker he plays, Buendia and Coutinho alongside them, and Ramsey being able to have the license to push on from midfield, I think we'll score. Probably have a massive. You remember the goal drought that we had under Lambert when people got the signs with the arrows? We'll probably have one of those now, but I can't see many occasions when Villa won't score. So if Villa can get back to basics and keep clean sheets, I think I think that's the secret of us finishing this season with a little bit of a flurry.
Yeah, good stat as well yesterday. We continued as well. Only West Ham, Villa, and Liverpool have scored in every home game this season. So Villa are scoring for fun at home, and hopefully this Sunday away as well. I don't know which Villa will turn up on Sunday. Obviously, we went to Brentford and were disappointing. Last night, playing in spurts. I haven't seen a 90-minute performance from Villa in a long while yet. Everton was good. But yeah, so set piece is an issue for me as well. Obviously, Stroik getting in on the act yesterday as well. And I think Lascelles is a big threat from set pieces. He scored against Everton doing the bullet header. So yeah, they need to sharpen up at the back, and that's something that they're working over the next coming days. And yeah, I'm going up there quite confident. I think Matt Target won't play anyway, so he won't be cursing us up there. So, and yeah, I think I'm going in there confident. Like you say, Villa can outscore teams. It's just the other end for me. They need to nip it in the bud and try and be box a bit clever. I think Gerrard will want that. And McGinn said yesterday he would have preferred an ugly 1-0 win last night as opposed to a thrilling 6-goal 3-3 draw. So yeah, Villa need to get back to basics and box a bit clever, and hopefully they can just get back to winning ways up on Tyneside.
What was Gerrard's demeanour like post-match? Because I saw a little bit of the 2 or 3 minutes they put on Villa Twitter with Jack Woodward interviewing him. I thought he'd probably be a little bit more frustrated and angry than he was when he came across in that. But I think he'd almost got it. It almost not laughing about it, but almost the kind of, what can you do about a game? I think he said, didn't he, that I don't think either manager really had much control of what was going on in that game. I thought he might be more frustrated about a missed opportunity, because I think Gerrard's all about momentum and trying to really kick on and move quickly. What was he like generally in the presser? Was he fairly philosophical about it all, or?
He was, yes, but I was quite surprised as well. I thought he'd come in a bit really annoyed and start reading the right act a little bit. But he was, smile on his face. He was found the game quite funny. How both players went at it. yeah, I think he found that side very enjoyable for the neutral, like he said. But a funny bit from me from Gerard's presser was he's asked about Ramsey in England, and I've spoken about that, and he turned to us and said, "Listen, lads, just calm down. I don't want to give you any headlines at the moment. Just take it easy." And then about 20 seconds later, this kid's going to go play for England. I've seen it. I've seen this before. He's got it all. You know about it. So it's really fun. We just turned each other and laughed. So it's quite funny. But Gerard's been great value. He really gives detail. He's answered. He's really clear with his injuries. Gives us really good updates. So yeah, I can't be more pleased how it's going with Gerard as the gaffer for me and for us, the fans, giving us crystal clear communication. But yeah, that bit on Ramsey was funny last night. Let me tell you. Just
away from the actual what happened on the pitch last night, and I know you obviously get there a little bit early, and you leave a little bit late because you're grafting. Grafting, what a job! Because you're grafting in the press box. But it seemed last night. It seemed in terms of like the infrastructure around Villa, in terms of the car parking and the getting to the vicinity of Villa Park, seemed a nightmare. I mean, I don't know. I'd be interested to see in the comments whether people agree with this, but that to me, if Villa, and you know, we've seen Christian Purslow talking in recent months, haven't we, about the issues at Whitton Station and getting people away from it on public transport and how that needs to be improved. For me, if Villa got serious designs about being a 50,000 seater capacity stadium at Villa Park and being able that to be an enjoyable experience for people to get there, to park and to leave easily, there's so much work to be done. I mean, I know we've got the issue with lots of the roads and the system around Villa Park and the wider Perry Bar area being looked at for the Commonwealth Games and stuff like that. But maybe it's just me being a grumpy old man, because my journey was particularly poor. But it just seemed chaos. I mean, I come in from the Crown and Cushion Island, and it was just gridlocked, just completely gridlocked. And it probably is me being a boring old man, but it ruins the route. Well, yeah, Leeds equalising ruins the experience, but I think it needs to be addressed if Villa, like I say, want to increase the capacity of that stadium.
100%. We raised the issue back in one of Gerard's early games that it's in the queuing. It was snaking all the way back up to the Power League at one stage. Litchfield Road, really bad. We got the mayor on board, and Purslow obviously spoke about it, giving our article that went out. And if you've got comments about travelling, get them in now, because I want to raise it again. For me, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm okay for me, but coming in from where you are, Matt, and Perry Bar at the moment's an absolute nightmare. So even I don't know what the train's like as well, but spoke to a lad who works at the Villa yesterday. He travelled up from Leamington, hour and a half it took him, and he leaves early as well. So yeah, a big issue. Do you drive in, Matt, and door to door? How long does it take you?
I've seen that one comment there from Stephen. Stephen Wem missed the first half. Took 2 hours to get from Halzone. I'm based Halzone as well, and I come Hagley Road way, and then touch the side of Jewellery Court, and then through Lazelle's, and then come back down what used to be the kind of overpass way down towards like say Crown and Cushion, One Stop Island, and down Aston Lane that way. And it was fine, to be honest. We flew most of that journey, and then as soon as you got to the kind of bit of dual carry, I mean, there was an accident as well. I think for some reason a fire truck had crashed. A fire branded vehicle had crashed into a fire engine, and there were emergency services on the scene. So, but down there, it was particularly down the top of Aston Lane. There's a car park where people try and get on just off that island, and it was just gridlocked, and it meant that nobody could move around any part of that traffic island. But yeah, I just think I think I give people the benefit. Give the whoever they are, the powers that be, the authorities, the benefit of the doubt, because there's a lot of changes happening because of the Commonwealth Games. But this needs to be addressed going forward, because getting 40,000 people, and it is 40,000 every single week now, every single home game. Getting 40,000 out of that, in and out of that area at the moment, is a problem. If that becomes 50,000, if Villa carry on in the trajectory that we hope they will, it will become 50,000. It's just going to ruin the experience for people. I mean, we're just looking at a few more of these. From Brum Centre, it's a right nightmare. You can see the ground, but it's a 25-minute round trip from Spaghetti. Jam's still got the right idea. Parked up for 4:30 with his lad on a couple of pints in the Aston Inn. I think that's probably. I mean, and again, it's a similar related but different related theme. At least around outside the Trinity Road part of the stadium now, there's a lot of, I don't think it's the Digbeth Dining Club kind of, a lot of the food stands. It's a more hospitable area now.
Yeah.
If you do want to get there early, you can stop and have a drink. You can have something nice to eat. So I think Villa are doing great things in that way. I wonder if something could be done better post-match as well to disperse. But, if you want to stay along and watch highlights of the game in the concourses with a pint or a coffee or whatever and disperse people at different times, I wonder if that could be something that Villa look at addressing, or maybe something they're already looking at addressing going forward.
And they need to, yeah. I think they're looking at that right now. I mean, we haven't had plans into Birmingham City Council yet. I think Perslow spoke in November. He said the guy in the stadium, upgrade and redevelopments, that was a month. He said about within the next month. So there's been a delay on that. In terms of parking and whatnot, I think I got to Tottenham and Arsenal's and stadiums like that, big stadiums in London, and the public transport's much better. No one drives to the football in London, obviously, but it's difficult given Birmingham's transport links. It's very poor, aren't they? What's it like for you? Can you get the train from where you are, Matt, or is driving the only option? Because it's gridlocked, isn't it, around Perry Bar and Aston?
You get the train in. I just don't like from the stories that you've done and from the things I've seen on social media. I just wouldn't like the idea of getting the train out. I'll go with my lad who's nearly 14 and his mate. And listen, they're allowed to stay up late, but you don't want to, in a midweek game, you don't want, we got home for 11:30 or something last night, but you don't want them getting home beyond midnight if you can do it. I don't know. I wonder, and it's different, new stadiums can probably have that facility where they can have much bigger open spaces and much better car parking on site. Yeah. I don't want Villa to move to a new stadium ever, to be honest. I want Villa to stay at Villa Park forevermore because I'm a traditionalist, but I just wonder if it's worth having a kind of, is there a park and ride thing that could be on the table where, one route out of town is just ring fenced solely for people on a park and ride who park however many, 3 miles out of town or whatever, and do it like that. So you can you just need to kind of almost stagger how you get people out of that stadium for me. But yeah, let's hope this does become a proper issue, because Villa continue on the rise that we hope we can do under the current ownership and under Gerrard, and we do go 50,000 seat capacity, because I don't think that the planning authorities will sign off on a 50,000 seater until all of those things are addressed in association with it, really.
Big issues there.
Sorry, I've just wandered off into a little bit of a moan about me struggling to park last night. But well, Ash, we were at Newcastle, or you're at Newcastle on Sunday afternoon. I hope you have a good journey up there. I hope hope you can get there fairly fast and park fairly easily, and I hope you're reporting on a Villa victory at St James's. But so until then, thanks for everybody who's watched. Thanks for everybody who's joined in the comments. And it's the same old message from me. It's up the Villa.